Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of TalkVisual305. I am coming to you live in Homestead here from our guy, Julio. What's crack-a-lackin', sir?
What's going on? It's great to be here. It's great to be here. It's a beautiful day. We've got such a special guest in the building. The queen of Homestead real estate.
What?
A boss lady. The first woman that has blessed this studio
What?
on TalkVisual305. We've got the one and only Downtown Connie
Brown.
Brown.
So welcome, Connie, to our...
Good morning. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, we've been trying to get you on, man. We got to talk to your agent. We got to tell them, listen,
Yeah.
please, talk to your receptionist and please, let us get past that guard gate.
Yes, definitely.
We just wanted to say welcome and thank you for coming on with us. You are truly the first lady of our podcast 305, and we wanted to say we're totally honored for you to be on board with us.
The honor
today.
is all mine to be here in the presence of you guys. The honor is all mine, really.
Thank you. And some of the things that we talk about on our podcast is just kind of tips and tricks and kind of just to lower the pressure for those who are out there and for those who are feeling that, well, I wish someone would have told me that. Maybe I would have listened. And pretty much that's what we wanted to do, kind of just drop some tips and tricks. But before we get into all of those things, I just wanted to lower the temperature a little bit and just kind of, let's say, welcome. This is not scripted. Right. This is simply just a few friends, raw, coming on with some good friends in the community, some great leaders of the community, and saying, hey, this is what we have, this is what we have done, this is what we see, and we wanted to share tips and tricks with you. So without further ado, Julio, drop that intro.
So here we go. Again, I said she is the queen of Homestead real estate. She has been a true pioneer of what it means to really provide service to her clients. And again, this podcast, like Demetrius says, is to give people tips and tricks because success leaves clues. And when we understand some of the things that successful people have done and what their habits are, what makes them stand out when compared to others, that's one of the reasons we really wanted to have Connie on this podcast so she can tell us a little bit about her journey and how she became the success that she is today.
Wow. That was all mine. Well, once again, thank you for having me. A little bit about me. I am Connie Brown, aka known as Downtown Connie Brown.
Downtown.
I adopted that name,
That's it.
and I love the name Downtown because I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, but I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I was raised here in Homestead, Florida, Downtown Homestead.
That's right.
A little bit about me. I am a proud mother of two, a wife, a sister, an entrepreneur. I recently got my mortgage license.
Yes, congrats on
I
that.
did that was a little bit of pressure that I put on myself. I did that because I want to be able to help my clients more.
Right.
So that I saw as a challenge, at this late in age. It's never too late to learn something. So I put that pressure on myself because I wanted to, and I achieved it, and I feel very proud of being able to have done that and
right.
acquired
But
that.
back early in your career, maybe those goals weren't so easy to attain. Maybe the drive wasn't always there. Tell us about when you first started. What was your first job coming out of high school? In your family, what was your first job?
Well, coming out of high school, I came out of high school. I went to FIU. I got an MIS degree at FIU, Panther alumni for all of those out there. And once I graduated, I decided I didn't want to do management information system. I always leaned more towards business, not so much the technology of the business. So I went into finance. I went into banking for a while. I started out as a bank teller. I got promoted to customer service rep. Then I went to work with international customers, opening accounts, managing their portfolios. And from there, I'm like, okay, let's try something else. I went into real estate. Actually, in title. I didn't become a realtor right away. I just went into the title back in the boom of the business.
Right.
I processed. So I am very, very well I am very well versed in real estate.
Well, talking about that, you were an employee, right?
Yes.
So you understood what it meant to clock in and clock out,
Right.
right?
Right.
And at some point, you said, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I don't want to be an employee. I want to start my own thing.
Yes.
When did that click for you?
That clicked for me after a couple of years when I first started into the real estate, into the processing,
Right.
title processing. I said, you know what? If I could do these for
Someone
someone,
else.
I could do it for myself.
Well said.
And my kids need me. My kids were young. I should be able to focus on my family and making my family grow, not really doing it for someone else. So that was the start of me wanting to venture out. I had the support of my husband when I told him,
Very important.
I am going to try to make this work, become
Right.
an entrepreneur. So he backed me. He goes, if you feel it, if you believe it, I know you can do it. So I had his support, and I said, we're going to go all in.
Right.
My kids were very young when I started. They're now college graduates, and I'm still here thriving.
Professionals out there.
Yes.
So Connie, back in those days, when you said you were in title, on the title part of real estate, back in that day, what was the boom? How many files were you guys closing? Because there was real estate
Yes.
selling left and right.
Yes,
That is true.
yes. Back then, we were 4 or 5 processors. I myself had about 40 files to process
Wow.
from beginning to end, meaning
Per month?
per month, getting them
Whoa.
to the closing
I
table.
want some of that sauce.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a lot. The pressure was a lot, and I felt like, wow, could really do this. But yeah,
You know,
That's awesome.
it's such a it's such a breath of fresh air to see that, obviously you went to school for one thing, but then you pivoted into something else. Real estate, we can't go wrong with that, right? I don't think they're building any more land or adding any more land anywhere else, to my knowledge, other than Dubai. But at the end of the day, you were able to see a need and you were able to jump into a space where it was possibly hard maybe to get into. And then you realized that you started processing, then you started into real estate. I mean, what made you really went that route? Because you could have gone into anything.
yeah. When I was processing, what I enjoyed most was the interactions that I was having with all the people. I dealt with the realtors, I dealt with the lender, I dealt with the buyer, the seller, and I enjoy bringing all those together to a closing table, to a final meeting point.
People
And
person.
yes, and the customer service that I provide in the relationship you develop with over the phone. You
Right.
would talk to a seller or a buyer. You just developed a relationship. I enjoyed that.
And that is simply the key. That's one of those tips and tricks when you says, why do you do what you do? What is your why? It seems like you found your why and you were able to pivot to that and you ran with it. But most importantly, I mean, in this space where you see so many men doing things and he says, well, it's a man's space. And then we realize really fast that it's not. The women that was out there tend to, they control they control
Right.
most of things. And you learn it from the front and the back end. So really, you're a force to be you are truly Downtown Connie Brown. Because you really, and I'm saying, I'm giving you your flowers now. And
Thank you.
And I wanted to say, fortunate for those out there, you have a gem right now that's able to take something so small and make it so big right now. Julio, what else you got for Connie?
So I think watching her career, watching her grow in the real estate space, I noticed that the way she stands out is the service that she provides to her clients.
Right.
Because, in real estate, it's an incentivized business. There's a commission that's being paid, and you're trying to find out the quickest path to earn that commission.
Right.
But on your way to earn that commission, there are clients that are relying on you to be that source of information so that their experience can be a pleasant one.
Right.
Because there's a lot of hands in real estate and there's a lot of things that can happen throughout a transaction. So Connie is so meticulous in explaining things.
Attention
Yes.
to detail.
Explaining the smallest detail to these clients, but she explains it in a way
Right.
that doesn't make it overwhelming
Right.
for the clients to understand. And what I've noticed is her clients stay with her for years. She becomes part of their families.
Right. And that's the key, right? That's one of the tips, again, when you can ride along with an individual and almost become their concierge of the real estate world, right? Simply, what do I do? How do I get this done? Making sure, once you tell them to go here, making sure they get the
Right.
closing, making sure there's any type of last minute stuff. You seem to be from the beginning to the end.
From the beginning to the end. And Julio's right. Usually my clients become almost like family because of the trust that they have in me. Everybody works because they have to. Nobody works because they want to.
Right.
But you see, I enjoy what I do, so it's not exclusively about the commission.
Right.
I truly enjoy what I do and helping people. Sometimes, a commission could be large, it could be small, but it's not about that.
Right.
It's about the relationship I build with that individual, the trust that they place in me. And at the end, that generates referrals. And that's what it's all about. No, go to Connie. She will not steer you wrong. So that's really, really what it's about for me, is generating trust and confidence in my clients that they can come back to me. They can undoubtedly refer me to someone and say, I'm not going to go wrong. Because sometimes when you refer someone, you're like, I'm not too sure. Look, I'm referring
my
this
name
person.
is on that.
But yeah.
No, and some of the things that Connie does, other realtors might say, well, why are you doing that? That's
What is
not
the extra
part-
for?
Yeah.
That's
there's
not
a
part
word.
of what you're supposed to do. And Connie says, I want to make sure that my clients really feel comfortable and understand exactly what they're doing. So she's making that extra step, that extra leap to make everyone feel just 1,000% comfortable.
And one of the things I've learned in customer service and in my early years of doing customer service is lagniappe. Lagniappe. They say it was a French word, or it is a French word. Little extra. He who provides the little extra. You've always been that person that I've known to provide the little extra, and that's what persons love about that complete package.
That's true.
Lagniappe.
Lagniappe.
Those tips and tricks, guys, as you can tell, it's about making that customer feel that you're family and that you have their best interest at heart from the beginning and end. Whether it's a small sale or a big sale, you're going to give the money to someone. Why not her?
Yeah, and
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
so I also want to touch on identities. Some people go through identity crisis. They don't know who they are. They don't know what their purpose is, and finding who you are and figuring out what you want to do in life it's a revealing, and it's such a great feeling to understand that you know your purpose. Connie, did you know, or at what point? Because you don't look a day past 42.
No, day past 21.
21. Get it right, man.
Kids go to
You
college.
should get ID, by the way.
Kids go to college, they get degrees, and sometimes they may not even want to follow that career path.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
At what point in your life did you know what, God, thank you for showing me and understanding what my purpose is?
Right.
I think, being raised by my parents,
You can say our parents. This is my big sister here. My big sister, my boss lady big sister.
That's right.
Yeah, our parents taught us resilience, strive, go, don't be afraid. So I went to college, like I said, I got the MIS degree, but I was always focused in business, in customer service. And some people are like, customer service, what is that, you know? But I mean, everywhere you go to the supermarket, what do you expect?
Customer service. And customer service.
Exactly. You call someone on the phone, on whatever it is, you expect service.
Right.
So I said, if I request that, I should be able to provide that. And that's what provides joy to me. That's what lets me sleep at night. That's what gives me, the passion, the drive. The more people I help, the better that I feel. My daughter tells me, Mom, you're a people pleaser. No, I'm not. It's just that I enjoy helping. I like to make a difference.
Right.
In summing it up, it's making a difference in someone's life.
Well, you can tell the passion behind what she says. And then the same for all of us in this space, that customer service is kind of like the bullseye for all of us. It all stems from great customer service. I always said I will do this for free because I love doing it. I don't call it work for me because, again, we look at it as something that we do and we love doing it. So providing great customer service seemed to have been your take home. Yeah. So I would always say, Julio, what else you have? But it seems like, with Connie, you're an open book to what's going on out there. You see where the market is heading. You kind of sense, okay, what do we do? What is your feelings for the market right now today, given your experience so far?
Well, everybody's saying, the market is going to come down, it's going to crash, it's going to do this. The market is really stabilizing. What we are trying to do is making homes more affordable for people, or not making home more for having programs out there educating the public
Right.
to what is available to them. How can they become a homeowner?
Right.
You know, rents are expensive.
Right.
Now it takes a whole family to try to become a homeowner. And those are things we want to try to, or I at least would like to educate the public on. Hey, everything is possible. All you have to do is believe it, and it will come true. Believe it.
Believe
Have
it to
faith.
achieve it.
Believe it. Dream it.
And also, you know, I always say, yesterday's price is not today's price.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
I want to touch on, she's recently been appointed to the City of Homestead Affordable Housing.
Yes.
Woo,
I'm
congratulations.
so looking forward to the big things we're going to do in there.
Before we
Yes.
get to that topic,
No, repeat what you just said, sir. I wanted to make sure our audience got it.
she's been appointed to the City of Homestead Affordable Housing Advisory Board, and that is a group of people that get together to figure out how we can help the residents of Homestead have more accessibility to funds
Right.
to help them with their closing costs and just give them education, like Connie was saying,
Right.
so that they can
Kinda
have
touch on that
affordable
for
homes.
us, you know?
But before I get there, I wanted to ask Connie, as a realtor, you know, and just like in the business,
Right.
you've got all the AT&T stores,
Right.
You've got salespeople.
Right.
There's that 80-20 rule.
Right.
You know, 20% of the salespeople do 80% of the sales, right?
Yeah.
That's very true in real estate as well. You could have a real estate office with 100 realtors,
Right.
and 20% of those realtors, 20 of those realtors are the ones doing most of the work,
Why do you
most
think
of the
that
sales.
is?
That's what we're going to ask Connie.
Connie,
because
why do
she's
you
one of
think
those.
that is?
She's one of those top
Because
producers.
Right, and then again, you know, being in the 1% of producing, and yet there's 100 of persons out there with the same drive that they came in with that drive. What do you think changed in your opinion, and to what is your opinion of that whole package?
Every
80-20.
day you have to come out giving it your best, owning it, not settling or saying, okay, I have this today. Every day is a new day, a new challenge that you have to say, okay, what am I going to get today? What am I going to accomplish today? So you take every day as a new opportunity.
Right.
So what would you tell a new realtor that, because what I think happens is some people see realtors driving these fancy
These cars,
cars,
right.
and they look like they've got all this
They
wealth.
look like money, right? That's it.
You come across, they're always dressed to the T, they smell great, they look great, they're driving a fancy car.
That's right.
What do you tell a new agent that thinks being a realtor is easy?
It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. You have sleepless nights, you have your struggles, but you have to be there every day, show up, give it your best. You have to constantly, you know, market yourself. Go outside of your comfort zone. Do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Give us an example of that, getting outside of your comfort zone.
This
What does
podcast.
that mean?
She said, hold on. She said, tip this podcast. You know?
No, yes, no. I truly believe getting out of your comfort zone, going out there, talking to people, not just waiting for things to drop in your lap. That's not going to happen. New realtors go to their brokerages and they think that all of a sudden they're going to get all these leads and everything's going to happen for them. No. These are relationships that you have to work on, develop, procure, and, you know,
Go
every
out there.
day is a hustle.
Plant those seeds, you know.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of times they think that the tree is going to just pop up. You know, you
And-
have to plant the seeds.
And I also want to say something. I am very strong in my faith. I believe that I have gotten to where I've gotten because, you know, I never walk alone.
Right.
He is always there with me, guiding
Amen.
me, never leave me nor forsake me. So you have to have something to ground you. You have to have a purpose
Right.
in life.
And
So-
you clearly have your purpose, and we see you, Connie Brown, downtown Connie Brown. We see you.
Downtown. You know, real estate is you don't have to clock in and clock out. There's nobody
That's right.
that is telling you. So this is this is a self-propelled business, and you are a business within a business.
Yeah.
Now, Connie, back in 2005. 2010, real estate, the landscape was different. You know, the way we did business with social media. Would you say, like, what do you think social media is doing for the average realtor? And how do they harness the power of social media to propel their marketing?
Well, the difference between now and back then you yourself were
Right.
marketing yourself. You
Right.
were, talking to people. You were out there doing it. Now social media puts you on all platforms. You are out there with just one click. Right. That makes it a whole lot easier than what it was back then. Back then you had the door knocking. You could still do door knocking, but social media, AI
brings it home, right? It kind of keeps you in tune with what's going on now. It brings you in front of that audience. It levels the playing field. A lot of times those with the deepest pockets were on the billboards and out there with all the get the junk mail to the house with the big paper. The flyers had, this house, this community is being sold. Now the flyers is...
Now we are all on, like you said, the same level, the same playing field.
I watched that comedy special with Sebastian Maniscalco, and there was one about the doorbell rang,
right?
And everybody would jump up, to go see who's at the door.
Right.
This is back in the day,
right?
Oh my God, look who's here! I was in the neighborhood, right? I was in the neighborhood. Nowadays, they ring the doorbell, like, oh my God, shut up! Everybody get down, get down. Nobody wants to go to the door,
right? Or your kid comes to the door and says, "My mom said she's not home."
you ring the doorbell. It's a ring doorbell now.
Yeah.
Now the people are talking to you.
That's it.
From where they're like,
I'm
not coming to the door.
That's it. I see you.
So that's changed a lot, but social media has helped drastically.
It has helped tremendously. Yes, it has.
So at the end of the day, Connie, what we wanted to do is, when we said bringing you on, you are truly the first lady of our podcast, but the first of many, because now the next person that sees this says, you know what, I would like to get out of my comfort zone. It is a podcast. I'm in front of cameras. I am speaking to the audience. It's different from having a person in your office and you speaking to them in one-on-one. And in this space, it allows you to drop a tip for the next young lady or young man that's coming up and says, I wanted to venture off into that space. I went to school for this, but see if this person pivoted, because it's not so much the degree itself as it is the will. You simply had the will to want to do something else. You could have settled and says, an old cliche stuff and settle into that mode. But no, you have hustling in your blood.
Determination.
I remember from way back in the Quiznos era, Connie had the hustling in the blood.
Used to run that store, man.
Yes, so from very early on,
right,
the business, the entrepreneurial was always
built
me.
in.
It was built in me. And Quiznos,
yes,
what is that about?
Right.
Customer service. How do you get your customers to come back? How do you get your business to grow?
And repeating that business, it's like good food, man. They will follow. They will come. They come to wherever good food is being offered. And then once you start producing that good food, which is that great customer service, it all stems right back to that. Typically, the Caribbean is known for great customer service. That's what builds.
Yeah, that's what builds relationships.
And it translates. It's in the soil.
Yeah.
At Homestead, we have it in the soil. We're rich for customer service and growing a good product. So, Julio, with that being said, man, we have to ask Connie. So, Connie, what would you like your audience to know about you in closing?
I'd like to ask her.
Oh, you have a few more.
What's the best advice you may have ever received in life as we wrap this up?
Best advice, not to be fearful. Always to go after what you believe in. If you believe in it, no matter how high you think that is, no matter how unattainable you think that could be, if you believe it,
you can achieve it.
You can achieve it.
Not to be fearful. We got to give a round of applause. Don't be fearful.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this was another episode of TalkVisual305, guys. As we drop tips and tricks once a week in your ear, we simply would like to know that, hey, please like and subscribe. Tune in. Every Wednesday, guys, we're coming to you live with something new so that you can kind of continue on with us. Julio, what else you got, man?
So we got, again, success leaves clues. We're going to bring people that have dropped a lot of crumbs on their road to success so that we can pick them up along the way. So Connie, Downtown Connie Brown, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Having me here.
We invite you to come back. All the best to you. My big sister, I love you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Julio.
Like and
Let's
subscribe.
go. We're out, guys. Until next time, guys.
See you later.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.